Hey, it's John Sifferman from physicalliving.com, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Lebert Equalizer parallel bars. I've got two sets here. This is the original model in lime green, and this is the XL model in black, which I believe the only difference between the two is that these are 3 inches taller and a little bit wider with their supports. Yeah, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches wider at the base. So they're a little bit taller. Have a little bit more stability in this model. I have been using these off and on for nearly a decade now. I actually met Mark Lebert, who's the creator of these, at a fitness conference. I think it was 2006, and he must have just been starting off with these back then. They've become much more successful since then, much more popular. A lot of people and trainers and boot camps and gyms carry them and use them. And I've always thought they're a great product, and I've used them off and on since then in different training studios and gyms that I've been in and out of. And earlier this summer, I actually found a comment that Mark left on my blog, physicalliving.com, and said, you know, and this was like, he left it years ago, on a video that I had posted on using a walker, like a walker, for parallel bar training. My brother had, given me an old walker, and I actually used to use that for dips and different exercises, hand balancing exercises, and people would joke about it. Of course, it's actually it came in real handy after leg day sometimes to help me get around. But Mark actually left a comment beneath that video on my blog, and I stumbled upon it earlier this summer, like, oh, Mark Lebert left a comment there, and I met him years ago. So I reached out to him and just started a conversation, and I asked him, hey, could you send me a set of your Lebert Equalizers to review? I'd be happy to put them through the paces and post something to my YouTube channel and on my blog. And he said, sure, I'll actually send you 2 sets. And so I said, great. So this, I wanted to say that for full disclosure, because that's important to some people. He did send these to me for free, but this is not a paid review. It's not a paid endorsement. He ran the risk of sending these to me because I could say very bad things about them, and I have done that for some fitness products that I reviewed. Most of the time, if I don't like a fitness product, I don't publish a review, but there are some times that I feel it's necessary. So I've let a few of them squeak through. So I've been using these quite a bit. They've been a feature in my training all summer long. I've really put them through the paces. I didn't feel like I needed to spend a good year or two evaluating these like I do with a lot of the other tools that I review, because I have been familiar with them for so long. But I've really enjoyed using them this summer, and I feel like I've collected my thoughts and my opinion on them enough where I can share that with you today in this video. So I guess where do we start? They came in this box, and something to note is that they were packaged really well, very secure. Nothing was damaged when it showed up, and I think that is in part because they were packaged so well. And let me tell you, I review a lot of fitness products. Companies send me a lot of different stuff over the years, and a lot of times they aren't packaged well at all, and they either arrive damaged or they're lucky that they didn't arrive damaged. So they both arrived in this, it's a pretty heavy-duty box. The green model came in this box. I'll just give you a close-up to look at some of the advertising. Lebert Fitness, as seen on YouTube. There's a few Lebert drills here. I guess you could pause the video if you want to read that. So that was the green model. And the black XL model, again 3 inches taller, arrived in this box. They both came with a free Equalizer Workout Dvd, which I did preview. And the DVD it's video instructions on how to do some of the basic exercises with these tools. So if you're a beginner and you don't even know where to start, and you don't want to buy a piece of fitness equipment and not know how to use it, so the DVD is a nice touch. It also came with this poster, which is just like a wall chart for exercise instructions and some general recommendations. You can see the DVDs back here. Came with the Allen wrench that you need to assemble it. Super easy to put together. Took me maybe 5 minutes, so probably take you 2 or 3 minutes. Came with the instructions, which were helpful for a knucklehead like me. So it comes with everything you need to get started First thing that I noticed when I put these together were that this is a very high quality product. They're durable, they're rugged, these things are going to last. I found out after the fact that these are made of steel, and each one's rated to support 400 pounds. So they're just rock solid, and if you take care of these, they are going to outlast you and I. The other thing I noticed right off the bat were these foam grips. They are very high quality, very like dense foam, and I noticed it right off the bat because most of the other fitness equipment I've used, including in gyms where they have commercial equipment, they don't have foam grips that are quite this nice. These are going to last a really long time. They won't outlast the steel, but these are really solid grips. And I actually spoke with Mark on the phone earlier this summer, and he said this was a important thing to him. He wanted grips that were, really high quality, that are going to last and provide a really good grip. They're not going to slip, when you get sweaty palms or anything like that. So how you assemble them is really simple. You have this piece, which is separate from each support piece, and you slide the support piece into here, and you'll see, I don't know how well you'll see on the camera, but there's 2 bolts with that for that Allen wrench that go in on either side, and you just insert those and tighten them down. Make sure that they're that they're straight, that they're parallel with one another, and you are good to go. Also has these rubber end stoppers here to prevent debris from getting inside the pipes, and provide a little bit of extra grip on smoother or slippery surfaces. I imagine that the grips and those rubber stoppers will be the first things to wear out, but we're talking several years at least, if I can make an educated guess based on the other equipment that I've used, how long it's taken that to wear out. So that's the first thing I noticed. Very high quality construction. And these are going to last a long time. They're durable, they're rugged. If you take care of them and no catastrophic accident happens, like running it over with a car, they will last your whole life. So buy it once, cry it once, or cry it once, cry once. Buy once, cry once, like the saying goes. So I'm going to cover the pros and cons in this review. I've already covered a couple of them, and also the main point of this review is to help you evaluate, not just tell you about them. Features and etc., but help you figure out if this is a product that's right for you, your goals, your unique circumstances. So that's my ultimate goal. And of course, if you have any questions, definitely get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help you out. So some of the other pros with this particular equipment, as opposed to other sets of similar parallel bars, is because they are so durable, and because of the height that they are, there are a ton of different exercises that you can perform with these, and so you can use them for a lot of different goals: fat loss, muscle building, general strength and conditioning, and among others. But there's so many exercises you can do because they are this height, as opposed to being much higher that you might find at a playground, or I'm not sure if you can see it in the frame, but I've got a set of parallel bars here on this pull-up training tower, which are a little bit higher. But because these are this height and not much higher, not much lower like parallettes. Parallettes it's a set of parallel bars, except they're usually a few inches or maybe a foot off the ground. So there's a lot less exercises that you can do with a set of parallettes or taller parallel bars than you can do with these. You can do a ton with these because they're this particular height. So just for a demonstration, you can do exercises where most of your body mass is over the bars. So like dips, which is like the quintessential parallel bar exercise. But you can also do exercises underneath the bars too. Like rows, where most of my body mass is supported underneath the parallel bars. So there's a lot of different exercise possibilities, and not just strength exercises, but conditioning exercises, cardio exercises, core exercises. There's even stretches that you can see in the chart and the exercise DVD. And you look up Mark's YouTube channel. I will admit, I have not used these to stretch, not even once. And it's not because I'm against stretching, I just do stretching differently, and I don't feel the need to use these for stretching because I've got different options available, and I do pretty much all my stretching on the floor or with a wall, yoga, etc. But that is a possibility. I mean, you can absolutely use these to stretch your hamstrings, and many others. You know, there's just lots of different stretches that you can do with them. So, you know, my underlying point is that this is a very versatile piece of equipment. You can use it for a lot of different stuff. Lots of strength exercises, obviously. Most of them upper body, but lower body exercises too, core exercises. Some of the, you know, lower body exercises, some of the stretches, they kind of border on gimmicky. You know, it's like you don't necessarily need this set of equipment to perform them, and you probably could perform them much better with a different set of equipment or even on the floor. And Mark knows that. He's a very savvy fitness coach, but with this set of equipment, you can do a lot of different things with them, and that's a major selling point for me, because I train out of my home, and so I want all of my equipment to be, you know, a few qualifiers. I want it to be well made, you know, which these are. I want it to be portable, or at least compact and small, so it doesn't take up a huge amount of space. I don't want a whole, you know, garage stuffed with training equipment. And that's why, you know, you'll notice a theme with some of my stuff here I have in my home gym. You know, I've got kettlebells, club bells, a barbell, resistance bands, and all these tools you can, you know, that they're relatively small in size, and you can use them for a lot of different things. So like kettlebell, there's hundreds of exercises you can do with a kettlebell, and it's the same with these parallel bars. There are a ton of exercises you can do with them, but they don't take up a ton of space. You know, you can tuck these in. I don't keep them here, I keep them over on that end, but you can tuck these into the corner of your home gym, and they take up very little space at all. So they're not just versatile, they're also portable. So you can bring them anywhere in your home, you can put them in your car. Wouldn't necessarily recommend bringing them as carry-on if you're flying, but they're versatile, they're portable, and they're durable, and those are what I think are some of the biggest advantages of this training tool. You get all those options in a compact, portable package. So let's talk about some of the disadvantages. There's not very many. I'm really going to have to reach for it. My short version of the review is that I think this is a phenomenal, you know, really solid training tool that would serve you well if you're willing to invest in it. And I recommend them to people who are interested in them. I don't think you can do any better than this based on all the different products I've used and reviewed over the years. This is kind of the top tier premium set of portable parallel bars. But that said, there are a couple of, you know, cons, downsides, you know, that I want to cover so you're aware of, and they're not, you know, again, I'm having to reach here, but the cost is a factor, and probably concern of some people. Usually going to run you between $100 to $120-ish, depending on if you find them on sale or use a coupon. My wife makes fun of me for saying coupon. When I believe it's pronounced coupon. I also say other funny words like mortgage and dental hygienist. My wife makes fun of me. So you can get coupons for these. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more at the end of the review, because I've got a coupon for you if you do want to invest in these. But the cost could be a factor for you. You know, if you can't afford to spend $100 on these, and you might be thinking, you know, $100 on a set of parallel bars, you know, why couldn't I just go down to Home Depot and make my own with a set of PVC pipes? And, you know, for me, I'm all for that. If you've only got $20 and you're handy, you can do it yourself and do it safely, you know, so you're not going to hurt yourself with a equipment malfunction, then all the power to you. There's plenty of plans available online for you to follow and make that happen, or maybe you don't even need plans and you can just, you know, eyeball it and figure out what tools and supplies you need and make that happen. But for me personally, this is my opinion. I'm of the opinion that I want my equipment to be safe and reliable, and I don't want to be worrying about an equipment malfunction happening. You know, if I'm doing hand balances, if I'm over the bars with some of these exercises, I don't want something to fall out from under me or break or shift suddenly. I want to feel, confident in the equipment I'm using, especially if I'm doing a handstand or, heavy weighted dips. I think I mentioned earlier, these are rated to 400 pounds each. So if you've got a really heavy duty weight vest or a backpack, you can absolutely do really heavy dips, as I've done this past summer. But I want something that I can trust in and rely upon, and so I'm willing to spend the extra money on quality. And that's just one of the things I look for when I'm putting something in my home gym. I want it to do what it's supposed to do, and I want it to last, and I want it to be built well so I can trust it. You know, those are just some of the basics that are things I look for. Might not be that big of a deal to you, but you could see the $100 as a disadvantage. Another, downside, it's not even a downside, it's just something I want to touch on. When I first got these, I looked at some different information on them available online, including what people are saying about them, different customers, to give me some feedback to help me better evaluate these this summer. And one of the concerns that was common, I think I saw a bunch of them in Amazon.com reviews, was that they are tippy. They have a tendency to tip over when you're doing an exercise. And I actually mentioned this to Mark on the phone earlier this summer, and he said that most of the time this is the case when somebody isn't using good technique, or they aren't familiar with an exercise and how to perform it properly. They can't perform the exercise, smoothly, under control. And I have to agree with that. I don't think that these are necessarily very tippy. I haven't had any problems with them inside, and I've used these here on my porch, which is a concrete slab, so it's level and smooth. I've also used them in my living room and outside. And when I'm indoors and I'm on a smooth, solid surface, I've had absolutely no problems with these things tipping over. The shorter models or the taller model. I have noticed that the XL model is a little bit more stable, and I think it's because the base supports are about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches wider than on the original lime green model. But I haven't had any issues with these inside. That said, when I bring it out to my backyard, my lawn, which is a little bit bumpy, it's not a perfectly level grade, like I'd like it. If I had time to take better care of it, and the interest in taking better care of it. I have noticed that when it's not a perfect grade, they are a little bit more tippy. And so, me personally, I wasn't comfortable trying to do handstands on these when I'm in my backyard. I can't do them here because I can reach my roof and I'm up this high. It's just not going to happen. But I tried doing them outside, and there's certain exercises that I wasn't, I didn't feel 100% secure, like these definitely aren't going to move on me. But I never had one, pop out from under me. I could always feel when I'm getting kind of to that point of where it's beginning to tip. But overall, not an issue for me at all. So your mileage may vary, and it looks like people who are reviewing these on Amazon have had different experiences. But one thought I had, this is kind of constructive feedback for you guys who buy these, and also for Mark, who is interested in improving his product. I know that he's had different design improvements over the years. But one thought I had about how to eliminate the tippiness problem is to find some kind of a sleeve or something that would connect these two together, kind of go around them, so that if one of them starts to tip, the other one has to tip too. And it's going to take a lot more force to tip both of these, especially if your body weight is on top of them, than it would be to just tip one of them, obviously. So if there was a way to connect these two together at the bases, that might completely eliminate that issue at all. I could probably use it here in my bumpy lawn and do some of the crazy hand balancing exercises that probably aren't recommended for doing with these. So I just want to throw that out there. You could, it could be as simple as like sliding a form-fitted pipe over each one of these, and that's it. So I wanted to put that out there for you guys and for Mark. Hopefully he'll watch this and get the feedback he needs to better serve his customers in the future. So those are really the only disadvantages, cons that I can come up with, and I know I'm kind of reaching for them. Overall, I think that they are a fantastic product. They're versatile, they're durable, they're portable. You can do a lot of different things with this, and they're going to last if you get a set. I did want to add that I'm going to recommend for most people to invest in the XL model. Those extra 3 inches made a big difference for me. When I was talking with Mark and his team about getting these shipped to me, his assistant asked, do you want the standard model or the XL model? They ended up just sending them both to me. So I'm 5'9", and I found that the extra height on these is really important, you know, kind of essential for me. And if they had only sent me the shorter model, probably wouldn't have such a favorable review. You know, just for example, I can do a lot more exercises with this than I can do with these. And like I mentioned before, I think that these are just slightly more stable because they have the wider support bases. But just like for one example, when I'm doing the rows, I can get into a proper, you know, dead hang and not hit my head on the floor, you know, for example. And when I try to do these on the lime green bars, you know, my head, you know, I have to like, I can't go down all the way because my head hits the floor. And, you know, I'm average height, average size, I don't know, maybe I have long arms or something, ape-like features. But I'm going to recommend, if you're average height or taller, male or female, probably going to be better served with the XL model. And I don't think it costs much more at all, maybe no more at all. I can't remember. I'm not familiar with prices, the latest prices. I haven't looked at them recently. But if you're a shorter person, you know, in the range of, I don't know, 5 feet-ish to maybe 5'4", you might be better served with the original model, which are a little bit shorter to the ground. And I will say that there are certain exercises that I actually prefer to use these shorter ones because they are a little bit shorter. The center of gravity is a little bit lower, so I just feel more safe and secure. Maybe it's counterintuitive for me, just realizing that now, because I feel like these are more stable overall. But certain exercises, some of the hand balancing ones, you know, I feel better with these. So there's pros and cons to each of them, obviously. But I'm really glad I thanked Mark's assistant for recommending the XL model, because this was definitely the right choice for me. And I'm average height. So take that for what it is. So I think that's all I wanted to cover in this review. I'm also going to type up a more thorough evaluation for my blog, just to include some more notes for you guys who want to do your extra research and make sure that this is a smart, wise investment for you, that it's worth the money for you. So if you have any questions about the product, please let me know. I'd be happy to help. Check below the video, whether you're on YouTube or my blog. I'm going to include a coupon code that Mark gave me for my YouTube subscribers and my blog readers that will give you $20 off any set of Lebert Equalizers. So that's a really good deal. And if this is something that's piqued your interest, I highly recommend the product. I think it's great. I wanted to do this review because I've enjoyed using this tool for nearly a decade now, and I think that if it fits you and your goals, then this will be a tool that serves you really well. I don't think you can do better than this as far as a portable set of parallel bars goes. This is kind of the Cadillac of those, and it's money well spent, in my opinion. So that's my review. Hope it was helpful for you. Please like the video if it was, or dislike the video if it wasn't helpful. That's the feedback I need to keep running this channel and bringing you guys information that you appreciate and that's helpful for you. I guess that's it. So I'm John Sifferman from physicalliving.com. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you watching this very long-winded product review for the Lebert Equalizers. Take care.